John, I'm Yerazad Asherian and welcome to Noor Perspective. In the previous episode, we looked at the Second Artsakh War. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at the Informational War. This episode features three Armenian goddesses, Carene Rose Mekertichyan, Patil Tutunjian, and Narée Asherian. Whoa, wait. Informational War? What's that? The Information War is a war against misinformation and propaganda spread by the Turks and Azeris through the media. We'll be taking a look at different aspects of media affected: social media, news outlets, and PR firms. I love social media. I think it's a great tool for people to connect and get ideas. However, that's not to be said that it can't be a very dangerous place. Lately, it's been used to spread anti-Armenian sentiment and Azeri propaganda.
The media is not really covering it, so people aren't really getting the information that they should be getting. They have to actively go out and seek it. And when they're looking for things, you have a lot of Azeri propaganda everywhere and Turkish propaganda everywhere. So especially if you're going straight to looking for things on social media, you're going to be very confused because you'll be seeing things from, things that are not factual, or images that are from the war in the 90s that people are sharing, saying it's from this most recent conflict. But if you actually do a little more research, you'll see that's not true. So I think that's where it becomes so harmful, because since the media doesn't step up to really cover things in an unbiased and truthful way, people are forced to seek out their own information, and you're not always necessarily going to find information that is factual and unbiased.
Azerbaijan has created bots to spread misinformation, whether it's in the form of comments, fake accounts, or posts.
The response from them has been so overwhelmingly negative because they have purchased bots. They have, run through software that has created bots that have overtaken the Armenians, who are vastly outnumbered by population. So it's really just an unfair battleground for us online, because there's absolutely no way that we as Armenians, unless we have the strength of allies, to really fight back against the absolute mass of Armenophobic propaganda.
These bots have spammed so many people. People who've once put out statements of support, including celebrities like Elton John and Cardi B, have taken down their statements in a matter of hours because of these bots.
Well, I think the attempt here that is being made is to terrorize, is to silence people, is to make people feel unsafe no matter where they are in the world. And that is just so wrong on so many levels. I can't even start commenting on it, but I think that's the sentiment. The sentiment is to make people feel unsafe. So even if like I was mentioning before, when someone gets cyber attacked for speaking out, threatening, even a lot of the celebrities too, I think they were scared about their livelihood. Oh, okay, I offended this many people, I must be on the wrong side, and start changing statements and backpedaling, which now it even becomes even worse.
Celebrities aren't the only ones affected by this. A lot of Armenians have received vicious attacks on their social media by Azeris and Turks.
I've personally received messages saying oh, we're going to kill all of you and rape all of you. I see in my dreams your ancestors begging me for food, and this is what I hope for all Armenians, and this, that, and the other, which is, it's painful to constantly get messages like that, but it happens. And a lot of times they send these out to so many people, and they send the exact same script. So it's really just this troll farm sending things out to intimidate Armenians, and it's almost always sent to Armenian women and not Armenian men, which is so strange. But there's that. And then when you go on Twitter, sometimes you can see some very vicious things. I mean, on top of the fact that we have all been subjected to constantly seeing videos of Armenian POWs and Armenian civilians, elderly civilians, being brutally murdered and beheaded and executed And these individuals who perpetrated these crimes weren't even hiding their faces because they know that their government protects them. And they're just posting these videos, publishing them happily. It's not videos that are being leaked that people don't want to see. They're publishing them because they want everyone to see that, and they want Armenians to live in fear. And a lot of times you will see that rhetoric like, this is what's going to happen to all of you. We're coming for Yerevan next. Like, that's what they're saying. And they're emboldened by their leaders, Aliyev of Azerbaijan and Erdogan of Turkey.
There were also personal attacks and cyber attacks going on, and I say was, but there actually still is. Whether it's sending messages or videos of war crimes directly to Armenians, whether it's personally kind of calling people's employers and trying to get them in trouble at their workplace by using fake accounts and fake accusations in a sense.
They are also, again, like I mentioned, using bots to kind of just overwhelm the Armenians who are trying to fight back against misinformation. They're trying to hijack the narrative. So for example, on Twitter, they started a hashtag called Don't Believe Armenians. And for Kim Kardashian's birthday, they started a trend of like, happy birthday terrorist, which is like, go pick up a hobby, figure out how to knit, do something with your life, just get off Twitter. And I've also been called a terrorist, which was fun.
In Nada's interview, she mentioned the hashtag Don't Believe Armenia. There are other hashtags out there like Stop Armenian Aggression, Stop Armenian Terrorism, Stop Armenian Occupation. These hashtags are a breeding ground for misinformation. So let's take a look at them and deconstruct them and actually figure out the truth. First up, Stop Armenian Occupation. Historically speaking, Artsakh was a part of ancient Armenia, and Armenians have been living on that land for thousands of years. We're indigenous to it. There's no occupation going on. Next up, there's no Armenian aggression. Azerbaijan is the aggressor in this conflict. Armenians desperately want peace. We're fighting not because we want to, but because we have to. We just want to be able to live our lives without the fear of a second genocide, without the fear of being killed or shelled or harassed. Furthermore, Armenia is kind of broke, so we can't really be the aggressor in this situation. Take a look at the numbers, guys. This is Armenia's military spending. This is Azerbaijan's. If you want to add Turkey, which is this much, we can't afford this. Please believe Armenia, guys. We've been silenced, relocated, massacred, and denied for years. Don't let Turkey and Azerbaijan rewrite our history. The solution to this social media problem seems pretty straightforward, right? Just report the accounts or the posts or whatever that are violating the community guidelines, that are very offensive and derogatory, or spread misinformation. Well guys, that's what Armenians and allies have been doing. But it turns out that reporting accounts and such is more of a numbers game than whether they're actually uploading offensive content.
It happened once that it was successful once, and I cannot tell you how many accounts I've reported for multiple reasons. I think they don't take action. One is because they don't necessarily have a huge competitor for the platform itself. I think Instagram is not being held accountable for just watch my account get locked after this interview. But I've voiced this all the time, on Instagram, and I even tried to. This is kind of like at this point, it's kind of a joke because it has to turn into a joke because nothing serious has come out of it. Is that I tagged the Instagram CEO Adam Mosseri in every post that I make about Instagram because no one's holding them accountable for making that community that they created, which means they're responsible for, safe, although they have community guidelines, because I think they don't have this big competition, and in a sense they're monopolizing the social media world. I think they know that people will continue to use their platform, and they're not doing the best job in even, let's start with the basics, having customer service. There's no such thing as customer service with Instagram. All it is that you report it to a robot and it doesn't get anywhere. Like if there is no to them, like obviously we're just a number, and I don't know actually from the top of my mind how many people use Instagram, but I know for them I'm just like another user. And with each person even having multiple accounts at this point, I don't think that when you report an account, not that I don't think, I'm pretty sure it doesn't go to an individual. I think it's just all automated, and removing that human element means that you're missing what could be offensive to humans or what could be considered, like when you're talking about dangerous content, I can't see any content being more dangerous than the things that we have been exposed to on social media. And for someone to have it there, and we reported it, I would say like we would spend 24 hours a day, if not like more if we could, reporting accounts, or like even not even accounts, even even a post, and we would get a automatic message saying we don't see any violation, Meanwhile, when the bots are reporting our accounts, we're getting shadow banned because just the sheer fact that we're outnumbered. So there's no actual common sense behind it. It's like, well, if this many accounts are reporting this account, then it must be something, there must be wrong with it. So we're going to shadow ban it. And therefore, I know a lot of people in our community who their posts are just not reaching people anymore because they're shadow banned. Meanwhile, when we go and report an account for having a legitimate, break of the community guideline, nothing gets done about it just because it's not the same amount of people reporting.
Azerbaijan and Turkey have paid off multiple PR firms, companies, organizations, and people to prevent information from getting out there or to sway public opinion against Armenians. One of my favorite examples of this is when they tried to pay off a Polish politician with $50,000 to stop him from releasing his report on Azerbaijan war crimes. But this is where it gets really good, guys. This guy went ahead with it anyways. He posted a screenshot of the bribe, and then he sent a letter to Aliyev stating, "Release the Armenian prisoners of war." Okay, this is allyship. We stand, okay? If there's one thing that's been made evidently clear from 2020, it's the danger of misinformed or biased reporting and the power of the media. The reporting on this war has been absolutely detrimental. A lot of people got their information from respectable Western sources, whether it's a TV show or a newspaper or online magazine.
And media sources, oftentimes specifically with this conflict, have been very, either they stay completely silent or they try to get into the whole both sidesism of things when this really is not a both sides issue. Or there's people who are biased, like Carlotta Gall of the New York Times, who has a history and connections to Turkey and was seen liking Azeri drone strike footage, which is something, and then has since unliked those posts and all of that. So it's definitely a difficult thing because we as a community have to be that information source. And a lot of times when reporting is coming from the Armenian community, it's immediately seen as, oh, this must be biased. Like when Armenian news sources were first reporting that Azerbaijan was using, in this most recent conflict, was using Syrian mercenaries that were paid for and sent by Turkey, people were like, well, I don't know if this is true, because the only people who were reporting it were Armenian, even though they had lots of footage and information and videos of flights and all of that. But it was only once other news sources confirmed this, like Reuters and President Macron of France and all of these other people confirmed it, then people were like, okay, yes, we do acknowledge that there are actually, Turkey did pay for Syrian mercenaries. So
earlier during the war in October, Armenians in LA protested outside the CNN building to demand more accurate reporting instead of this biased two-side reporting that they were doing. And across the globe, Armenians were doing the exact same thing with the BBC.
So it's tough because we have to get out of the framework of thinking within journalism that if journalists come from a certain region, we need to completely disregard everything they're reporting. They're actually on the ground and they're actually seeing everything that's happening. So you should definitely take their reports into account. And that's where we get into the whole difficulty. In Azerbaijan, Their press freedom index is atrocious. They do not let people into the region to report on things without being escorted and followed around by someone who's a representative from their government. So a lot of the reports that are even coming from that side, there can be some discrepancies. So
Yes, I understand it's important to check if your sources are credible or not. Trust me, I've been in an English class. But don't assume that just because it's some Western name brand news source, that it's completely credible. And also don't assume that just because the person's reporting is a SWANA member or an Armenian, that they're not credible either. Our website, artsachresources.com, cites our sources. If you go and you take a look, you'll find that there are links or Instagram accounts to where we got our information. Same with this video, which is largely compiled off of the information on our website. We hope you found this video helpful. For more information, content, and videos, follow us on Instagram at artsachresources. And check out our website, artsachresources.com. Also follow Carene, Narée, and Patiel, and their accounts are in the description below. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, DM us, or email us at artsachresources@gmail.com. Thank you for watching. Sudesachun!